Welcome to Get to Know Your County Commissioner, the program that speaks with elected officials about issues of importance in our community. I'm Jeanette Perez. Today's topic is the status of Miami-Dade parks. Joining me to discuss the damage Hurricane Irma caused and improvements being made to our parks is Senator Javier Souto, District 10 Commissioner, and Maria Nardi, our recently appointed Director of the Parks, Recreation, and Open Spaces Department. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maria, let's start with you. Can you give us an assessment of our parks right now?
Sure. So first I have to share with you that the team that went out and went into full recovery mode immediately after the storm did an incredible job, just outstanding job, taking care of the community. We're one of the first responders. We have, as part of our responsibility, 20 miles of roadways, in addition to 300 miles of our right-of-way aesthetics division. So we went out there and, along with Department of Public Works and Solid Waste Management, and took care of those roadways. Immediately after, we were taking care of our parks and of our community. And I would say the area that was most impacted was the landscape, the trees. We suffered about 40 to 50% canopy loss, wow, which is enormous for a department that was hit far and wide, and that was one of the impacts. So we are looking to see how we can replant. We're evaluating the trees that worked. We're evaluating trees that didn't work, and always looking for opportunities to improve the work that we did. But I think as a county as a whole, the county did a phenomenal job being first responders out and clearing roads and taking care of the community.
And Senator Souto, you've always been a supporter of parks. I know this is near and dear to your heart.
Of course. You know, since I came to the commission here many years ago, I always get with the parks people. I've been the chair for all these years, and we've done tremendous things in the parks. People don't know what they have in Miami regarding parks and stuff like that. We take things for granted. We have a tremendous system of 270 parks. Beautiful parks, but of course, you know, when there's these huge storms like the one that we had, that, by the way, was not only a hurricane, was a hurricane with tornadoes in there, right, and all kinds of stuff. And of course, it broke many trees. Maria was talking about the canopy. The canopy is important. We have to evaluate now which trees took it and which trees didn't take it, and then don't waste our money in things that break down. Right. And look what works, as you were saying, and how can we get the most out of our dollars. It's important to again to replant, and I would recommend that we plant for every tree that we lost, plant 3 trees. I'm an old country boy. I don't know, you guys don't know. Well, maybe you know, yeah, you both know a little bit about that. So, you know, I grew up with that. It's in my blood, you know, and through my family and my studies and so on and so forth. And I can understand exactly what's going on.
And Senator, you were out at Westwood Park. Tell us what you saw there.
I've been out in many parks in my district, and then I would go and see other parks too, because as you know, I chair that committee. The committee deals with all the parks, and we have done unbelievable things over the years. You know, for instance, I saw the Kendall soccer fields, which is a wonderful park that everybody loves, and I could tell you stories and stories about Kendall soccer park, Kendall soccer fields. And it just decimated the entrance to the park. They just destroyed all the trees. One thing that I've seen, Maria, is that it's interesting. Most of the trees that produce flowers, these trees that they're very nice, very pretty, most of them cannot take the winds. So well, that's interesting. We need to evaluate all that carefully and see what happens with that. We need to, again, to invest in what works, as Maria was saying. And we'll get back to that real fast. Westwood Park. I was there Saturday with the people, with the volunteers. Westwood Park is a park that we got it in good condition as a result of a hurricane of many years ago. that destroyed that park too. And it was the days of Merit Sturheim here and all that, and he helped me a lot in getting the tennis courts ready and this and that, and the park, and the park was just wonderful now. And then came Irma, and Irma did several tricks. Locally, the Todd Lot, which is one of the important parts of that park, survived, except that the big tree that lent a real nice canopy to the Todd Lot area didn't take it. It's a big tree, and I guess it was the size of the tree and all that. Anyways, it fell, but it didn't destroy the Todd Lot.
Right.
So that was a good part. It fell down, but didn't hurt the Todd Lot. So I guess we'll put some other trees around there, and the rest looks wonderful. I was there with a bunch of volunteers on Saturday. They were cutting. I was hauling out. I was pulling out limbs and things and branches with my guys, with 3 of my guys. And the park was full of kids.
Yep.
There were hundreds of kids playing baseball, little kids. That's wonderful. See these kids playing baseball and the families. There were easily 200 persons there in the fields, in the baseball field.
That's
and we
nice.
were working here. So.
And that's one of the things about parks, that during a storm, everyone's in their homes and they're cooped up. And the first thing that people want to go to is a place of outside. They want to be outdoors. They want to be with friends. And the parks really provide that center. They build community. It's often a place in previous hurricanes as well where people come together and they'll have a barbecue,
yes,
and they'll provide food for others. The park system as a whole also serves as distribution centers when we have emergencies like this. So they really become those hubs of activity and a place where community comes together and reconnects after a storm. Our recreation centers were opened the Monday after the storm because people need to take care of their homes, so we have a place for kids to be dropped off so
That's
that
great.
parents can take care of their homes and can take care of the needs for their families.
And parks are wonderful because, South Florida, Miami, this area, you can be out most of the year, and I tell the people, after work, go to the park, and play with your kids, talk to your husband, or husband talk to the wife, it's a place where the family meets, where people, instead of being there hooked up to the television or whatever with a computer, get out of your house and go to a park and enjoy, take a walk, take some real good oxygen in your lungs, let the kids run, let them play, whatever, basketball, toddler, whatever, and enjoy your parks. You can use your parks probably the whole year except when there's a hurricane or there's a heavy rain or something. It's a great investment, I think, for the community to participate with the parks, to whenever we need some money for the parks to come. And I think that the community understands that. I was telling Maria that.
Maria, do you have an estimated time of completion for the recovery efforts?
At the moment, we are moving forward with picking up debris. I think it'll be, all of our parks are up and running with the exception of one park that got really hit the hardest, and that'll be coming up the line and getting reopened. But probably I would say a month, a couple months, the most, to get it completely, all the debris out, but I anticipate it'll be much earlier than that, maybe a month.
We'll get there, so quick. Andrew, I was here with Andrew, and I remember Andrew in Tropical Park. That was when I got the idea at Tropical Park when we rebuilt, and I took the manager there and said, we can do this. This is the idea for the equestrian center. And that it was right after Andrew. I could see it in my mind. What we could do with Tropical Park, and we did it, and we came back real quick. Andrew was tougher than this thing. This was a bad hurricane, but Andrew, I think, it was much worse for us in Miami-Dade County. So I remember Vizcaya.
Oh my
Vizcaya!
gosh.
Oh my goodness, and Crandon Park, And I know, wow, you know.
And right now, what you see is a lot of the parks are open,
Yeah.
but in terms of the debris and removing all of the trees, it's going to be a
Yes.
little while. And I think
Yes.
as part of that is
Yeah.
and the community as a whole, they're doing a phenomenal job and just doing
There's
the cleanup.
volunteers.
And
There's
there's
a lot
also
of-
volunteers.
How can residents help? How can they volunteer?
We have a site where we post it for volunteers. Also, we're putting up sites for donation of trees, for adopt a tree is also something that we want people to look into and contribute. And we will be reaching out to the community for more volunteers. We have a great base of volunteers, as the commissioner saw this weekend, and he was right with
Yeah.
them, working with them. So I know that they really appreciated you being there and supporting that, but there's always a great opportunity for people to volunteer in parks all the time.
That's great. Thank you both so much for joining
you.
us, Director of Parks, Maria Nardi,
Thank you.
and
Thank
Commissioner
you.
Senator
Thank you.
Javier
And,
Souto.
enjoy your parks and work with the parks.
Absolutely.
Participate.
And that's all for this edition of Get to Know Your County Commissioner. For more information on county programs or services, call 311 or visit miamidade.gov. And be sure to connect with us on social media. For Miami-Dade TV, I'm Jeanette Perez. Thanks for watching.